Hello and welcome back to the 11A1 YouTube channel. After a several month hiatus, I am back and we are going to be beginning with a Super Conqueror Ranked Battles qualification match replay. Now, this game was taken from my first game back after many weeks, if not several months, playing this game, so the fact that I was jumping back into Ranked at all was a little daunting. However, as you will see by the end of this replay here, I'm able to manage a pretty decent clutch. For the first portion of the battle, I don't really do much. I spend a lot of my time on something that I probably should have taken care of before I went into Ranked, which was adjusting my settings back to where I had them before, which normally they auto-adjust based on your last recorded settings. However, this time I had to adjust things and make things fit properly, as I have since gotten a new mouse, so I need to adjust my sensitivity and whatnot. So yeah, that being said, I will be back when things start to pick up and I actually start participating in this game. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alrighty guys, we are back, and it is about just around this time where I find myself a shot on this 111.5A that has snuck itself up halfway on the 0 line, accompanied by its T-57 Heavy counterpart. So I'm just trying to put myself into a position, considering I'm still full HP, because like I said, I wasn't really in the game very much up until this point. However, I have a 430U, kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place here because the T-57 Heavy is in front of him, and the 111.5A could, at any point, push behind the 430U. So it seems like I'm still not done adjusting my settings here, as I seem to be AFK again. But regardless, the game, although score-wise is still pretty close, the HP, as you can see, we're still down by nearly 4,000. And as you saw there, the 430U that I was anticipating on being able to try to help, it's taken out by a Conqueror 100 in a typical tank destroyer location in J0, which gives me a good insight into what exactly I need to do here, because clearly after seeing my 430U die, it's not going to be a good idea to push out of this location because it's safe from the Jagdpanzer's line of sight. The T-57 relocates, trying to isolate our 60TP, which ends up working as the S-Conqueror. And apparently a grill from way downtown in H3 snipes him and gets the kill. So what am I thinking? Well, at this point there's no one in range to spot me, because the T-57 Heavy had moved to go and secure the kill on my 60TP, so I decide to move away from my position in D8 and move over to where I am now. I was anticipating meeting the 111.5A, however the Jagdpanzer has moved up from his original position in the bushes behind J0, and I bounce his shell from his first shot on me. I put one into him, and the 5A is nowhere to be found. He has to be somewhere in here. Otherwise, my 4005 would have spotted him if he had left from his initial location that we saw earlier. So at this stage, my only worry is trying to do quick peeks on the Jagdpanzer 100, get some damaging penetrations on his superstructure, and take out as much of him as I can at this point, because now the T-57 Heavy and the Super Conqueror that we saw in this location previously are now pushed up, as well as the 5A. So it seems like the 5A must have either relocated down this way and drove through the main portion, or it timinged our 4005 when he left and drove this way and has now accompanied the main force. However, our 4005 has successfully taken out the T-57 Heavy, lowering the stress on this portion of the map. However, as I am still full HP, I find it part of my duty at this point to contribute to the retake of the city, because As we can see, the Jagdpanzer 100, of course, I was fighting him on the 0 line, but he's the only one on this half of the map. Everyone else was last spotted on this side. So taking care of the city and getting control is the most important part. And as we can see right now, the 140 gets spotted in A1, killing our artillery. So they've pushed all the way down from this original H3 position that we saw them in, which means we've basically lost half the map from basically this 7 line over. So now I move in on this 5A. He seems to have given up, or PC crashed, or he got called to do some chores or something. Who knows? Anything can happen in the game of World of Tanks as you are playing it. So now it's just me and my friendly Super Conqueror. At this point, I'm thinking, well, I have to eliminate the numbers as fast as possible. They're still up on HP and numbers by 3, so pushing in a T-62A, taking some shots from my Super Conch is the most important. We take out the T-62A, and our friendly Super Conqueror is still alive. However, they still do have two artillery, technically 4, because the Batchat has an autoloader, and it puts a shell into our Super Conch, unfortunately, and our 4005 goes down to the grill. So at this point, it's a 2v5. What am I thinking? Well, I know the 140 is on the A line. He's going to be moving in towards the cap circle to put some pressure, or alternatively to get into this little dip location, try to spot if we move ourselves back into here, and try to get some side shots as he waits for the grill, who I'm assuming is probably moving up along the 3 line to get into position to snipe and cover him when he does end up eventually capping. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, the Jagdpanzer is the only one closest to us and in the city, isolated from everyone else. So I'm going to go and try to deal with him, which is exactly what I do. So I use this little bunker here, not bunker, but these sandbags to side scrape and ideally get a miracle bounce against the Jagdpanzer. However, he elects to fire HE, which means that he does damage to me anyway. Can't wait for those HE nerfs. However, I end up taking him out because I have infinitely better DPM than he does, so I'm able to get 3 quick shots out before he can reload a second. And at this point, the 140 is moving in, surprisingly, because I suppose he saw that my other friendly Super Conqueror is now in a one-shot, so he wanted to try to maybe move in, get the kill shot while I was distracted by the Jagdpanzer. However, now that the Jagdpanzer is dead, he had a bit of trouble. However, he does find the kill shot on my Super Conch, and it is now me versus 4. So, obviously I want to try to take care of the 140 first, as he is not only closest to me, but also makes this interesting decision to push out into the open. So I see this enemy T-57 heavy wreck. I try to use it as cover. He's able to snap a shot into my hop turret weak point. I bounce another shell and put one more into him, bringing him down to a one-shot. I decide to push around the corner to secure the kill because at this point I need to eliminate the numbers as fast as possible. I also spot the Batchat artillery driving across in the open towards the cap circle behind the mound. So that gives me information on one of the artillery. I still don't know where the grill and the 261 are, but of course they were last spotted here, which they're definitely not going to be there anymore. And they're probably going to be trying to move up here along this half of the map to meet up with the Batchat at their base, because it's now, although a 1v3, 2 of them are artillery, so my biggest concern is the grill. And I am down pretty low. However, the artillery aren't super healthy and the grill isn't full HP, considering the health pool, at least from what I can tell, unless my calculations are incorrect. At this point I decide to relocate from the city, which was an attempt to try to avoid isolating myself in close quarters, because if the artillery position themselves properly and the grill gets a spot on me and shoots me, then I'll either get one shot by him if he gets a lucky high roll, or the artillery will just dunk on me after he shoots me once, and that'll be the game. So at this stage, my best bet is to just position myself over here and try my best to get some spotting out across the field over here if they decide to push in down the trenches here, or if they are in this position. And also, it gives me bush cover in case they decide to start putting pressure on the cap, in which case I can reposition to adjust accordingly. So now it's just a matter of waiting until either at least one person puts pressure on the cap, and there we go. 2 people start capping the base. I know for sure one of them is going to be the Bat Chat because they were last spotted literally right next to the cap circle. So my only concern is that both of the artillery are on the cap circle and the guerrillas in the back covering them, in which case peeking this corner, which I'm going towards, will be a difficulty. But regardless, either side is more is problematic for that very reason of the grill with the cover fire from the hill if he's playing in an ideal situation, or position rather. So, but if I peek from this side, I'm far more exposed than I am from here because there's several buildings that could obscure my vision if he is not in this upper bush. And the artillery could be positioned anywhere close or probably farther on this side of the cap circle. And so that we will find out right here, right now. So I tried to do a side scraping angle. The 261 I take out immediately as it was a one-shot, and that leaves only one person left in the cap circle, which suggests to me that it's most likely the Bat Chat artillery. Because, like I predicted, both the artillery would be in the cap circle and the grill would be by himself somewhere farther back to enable himself the ability to support. So I go for another peek, and I shoot an HE shell into the turret of the Bat Chat artillery. Unfortunately, not quite killing him, but I do finish him off there. The grill is behind, but however, the game-deciding factor here was that the grill did not play up in this C3 bush location, because if that was the case, when I over-peeked here quite sloppily to try to kill the Bat Chat, he would have had a free shot into me and I would have died. However, because he decides to play down or was in the middle of pushing to try to get the finishing shot, that was not available for him. So now I'm down to 1 HE shell left. He's at 656 HP, so the likelihood of me one-shotting him is pretty low. I peek the corner, shoot a shot into his gun shield, hit him for 505 damage. He's now down to a one-shot, but I'm also a one-shot for him. I do another risky peek right afterwards. He's aiming at me. However, I get the shot off first and secure the 1v4 for the win. Alright, so taking a quick look at the post-game stats, we can see that this game resulted in a victory after that 1v4 clutch. We dealt nearly 5,500 damage, 7 kills, and nearly 1,400 base experience. So pretty good result for my first qualification game in this season of ranked battles. And this was a pretty hefty game, just over 14 minutes, and we did lose a pretty hefty amount of credits as well. But I'm not going to complain. Number one, it's ranked battles, and you're going to pretty much be expected to lose credits every game because everyone's constantly firing premium rounds and using premium consumables. So it's to be expected to not make profit. And number two, it's a good result. I got my double chevron, and I'll take that any day. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this first video back after a long hiatus. You can expect there to be more videos coming soon to a theater near you, to the 11D1 YT YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe if you have not done so already to stay up to date. Turn on the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post a new video, and drop a like and leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts were on this replay here. And until the next one, take care.